Hey everyone. So you've got a date coming up and you want to make sure your English is like totally on point.
It's like getting ready for a big presentation. You want to feel confident and ready to shine,
Exactly. And that's where this deep dive comes in. We're going to be breaking down some awesome tips from this episode called Talking To today.
which is all about how to use English to really connect with someone on a romantic date.
So if you're looking to impress your date with your smooth English skills, you've come to the right place.
This isn't just about memorizing phrases, though. It's about understanding the deeper meaning behind the words.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's dive in.
So let's start with first impressions, because you know what they say, you never get a second chance to make a first
Yeah,
impression.
so true. And Talking To today suggests some really confident greetings like, "Hi, you look amazing tonight," or "I was really looking forward to seeing you."
Those are great examples, and they really set the tone for a positive and engaging interaction. But there's more to it than just the words themselves.
Now, I know you're going to say body language.
You got it. A warm smile, genuine eye contact. These are the things that show your date. You're happy to be there and interested in getting to know them.
It's like you're saying, "Hey, I'm present and I'm excited to be on this journey with you," without actually saying those words.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
all about those nonverbal cues that create a sense of connection and warmth.
So we've nailed the greeting. We're feeling good. Now, how do we break the ice without resorting to those same old tired questions?
Well, talking to today suggests some really clever icebreakers.
Like what?
Well, the classic, how was your day? Or did you have any trouble finding the place? Can work.
Yeah, but those can sometimes feel a bit superficial.
Exactly. Think of them as launching pads, not the entire rocket. You want to use those questions to spark deeper, more meaningful conversations.
So instead of just nodding and saying, "Oh, that's good," we should aim for those juicy follow-up questions.
Exactly. Like if your date mentions having a crazy day, you could ask, what made it so hectic? It shows you're actually listening and not just waiting for your turn to talk.
I see what you're saying. It's about showing genuine interest and digging a little deeper.
And remember, early on in a date, it's all about finding that common ground. So, talking to today suggests asking things like, what's one thing you're really passionate about? Or, I've heard you're into mention their interest. Tell me more about that.
Those are great questions because they invite your date to open up and share something they're excited about.
And it shows you've done a little homework and you're genuinely interested in their world.
Speaking of doing your homework,
Yeah.
I know you love to travel.
Yeah.
Imagine your date asks, "What's one place you've always wanted to visit?" I bet you could talk for hours.
Oh, absolutely. I'm always dreaming of new adventures. And you know what? Questions like that are fantastic because they tap into someone's hopes and dreams. It's a window into their soul, really.
Okay, so we've broken the ice. We're uncovering those shared passions. Now, how do we turn up the charm and move into compliment territory? Because let's be honest, everyone loves a good compliment.
Right. But talking to today makes an important distinction between generic compliments and those that feel truly sincere. Instead of just saying, you have a nice smile, try something like, your laugh is contagious. I haven't had this much fun in ages.
Wow, that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
I can see how that would make someone feel truly seen and appreciated. It's not just about flattering them. It's about acknowledging something unique and special that you genuinely enjoy about them.
And that sincerity is like gold in the early stages of dating. It builds trust and lets the other person know that you're paying attention, not just reciting lines from a dating manual.
All right. So we've mastered the art of the sincere compliment, but how do we keep the conversation flowing beyond those initial get-to-know-you questions?
Well, this is where things start to get really interesting. Talking to today suggests transitioning to deeper, more future-oriented questions.
Ooh,
Like what? Things like, what's one thing you've always wanted to try? Or if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
I love those questions. They're like little time capsules into someone's aspirations and dreams. It's almost like you're taking a sneak peek into their vision board.
Yeah.
And I bet those kinds of questions lead to amazing stories and anecdotes. Well,
Absolutely. They invite the other person to open up and share something personal. And what's more, these questions show that you're interested in more than just surface level chit chat. You're saying, hey, I want to know the real you, the you that dreams big and wants to experience life to the fullest.
okay, so we're getting deep. We're having fun. But how do we keep the conversation from feeling too serious or like an interview?
That's where the magic of playfulness comes in. Talking to today suggests sprinkling in some lighter, more playful questions to keep the energy up. Things like, if you could have dinner with any celebrity, dead or alive, who would it be? Or even something silly like, What's the most useless talent you have?
Oh, I love that. I can already imagine the hilarious responses those questions would spark. And it's a great way to show your own sense of humor, too.
Yeah. Exactly. Remember, a date should be enjoyable, not an interrogation. It's about finding that sweet spot where you're connecting on a deeper level, but also keeping things light and fun.
Now, before we move on to the grand finale,
Yeah.
ending the date on a high note, let's pause for a moment and recap what we've learned so far.
No.
Because let's be real, there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah. We've covered greetings, icebreakers, compliments, and even those deeper questions that really get the conversation flowing.
It's like we've given you a toolbox full of shiny new conversational gadgets. But I have to admit, it can feel a little overwhelming trying to remember everything. It's like, how do we actually use all these amazing tips without sounding like we're reading from a script?
That's such a good point. And, talking to today actually emphasizes that the most important thing is to just be yourself.
Oh, I love that.
Mm.
Because at the end of the day, fluency isn't about speaking perfect English. It's about connecting with someone authentically.
Precisely. Think of these phrases as starting points. You can adapt them, combine them, and make them your own to fit your personality and the flow of the conversation.
So it's more about understanding the principles behind these tips and then using them in a way that feels natural and authentic to you.
Exactly.
This has been awesome. But we've got to take a break. We'll be back in a flash with even more juicy insights on how to rock your next date in English. Stay tuned.
Exactly. And that brings us to another crucial point, active listening. It's not just about asking questions.
Right.
It's about showing genuine interest in the answers.
So it's not enough to just fire off a bunch of questions.
Exactly. When your date is talking, put your phone away, make eye contact, and really listen to what they're saying.
Like you're really trying to understand their perspective and their experiences
And ask follow-up questions. Share your own related experiences.
to show that you're present in that moment with them.
Exactly. It's all about creating that connection.
And don't forget the power of nonverbal communication. A warm smile, good eye contact, and attentive body language can go a long way in making your date feel comfortable and connected.
It's all about creating a positive and engaging atmosphere.
Okay, so we've talked about active listening, but how do we make sure we're actually engaging with our date in a way that feels genuine and not forced?
Well, I think the key is to choose conversation topics that genuinely interest you both.
Right, because if you're not interested in what you're talking about, it's going to show.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to show your sense of humor.
Oh, I love that. I mean, who doesn't love a good laugh?
It's a great way to break the ice and create a more relaxed atmosphere.
No, I know you're a big fan of humor.
Yeah.
Do you have any go-to funny questions or stories that you like to share on dates?
Let me think. Oh, I know. I love to ask people about their most embarrassing childhood moments.
Yeah, that's good.
It always gets a laugh.
Yeah.
And it also helps to break down those initial walls of self-consciousness.
Plus, it gives you a glimpse into their personality and how they handle awkward situations.
Exactly. So don't be afraid to be a little silly and have some fun.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about greetings, icebreakers, compliments, deeper questions, active listening, playfulness. I mean, it's a lot.
It is. But remember, it's not about memorizing a bunch of rules or phrases. It's about understanding the principles behind them and then adapting them to fit your own personality and the flow of the conversation.
So basically, be yourself, be present, and have fun.
Exactly. And if you can do that, you're already halfway there.
Okay, I love that. So before we move on to the grand finale, ending the date on a high note, let's take a moment to address something that might be on your mind.
What's that?
What if you still feel nervous or unsure about your English skills?
That's completely normal. And honestly, it's more common than you might think.
Really? Even native English speakers get nervous on dates.
Absolutely. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being present and authentic.
So give yourself permission to be human.
Exactly. And think about it this way. Your date is probably just as nervous as you are.
It's a good point.
So instead of focusing on your imperfections, try to shift your attention to connecting with the other person.
So instead of trying to impress them with your vocabulary, focus on making them feel comfortable and seen. Ask questions, listen attentively, and share your own experiences and thoughts.
And most importantly, have fun. Remember, a date is an opportunity to connect with someone new, share a few laughs, and maybe even create a spark. Don't let the pressure of speaking perfect English rob you of that joy.
That's such great advice. And hey, even if the date doesn't lead to a second one, you'll have gained valuable practice speaking English in a real-life setting.
Exactly. Every conversation is a learning opportunity, so go out there, embrace the experience, and let your English sparkle.
Now, before we say our final farewell, let's transition to part 3, where we'll uncover one last piece of advice that might just surprise you. Stay tuned. Okay, so we've covered pretty much everything you need to know to rock your next date in English.
From those nerve-wracking first greetings to keeping the conversation flowing smoothly.
But before we wrap up this deep dive, I feel like there's one more thing we need to address.
Yeah, you're right. There's this one secret ingredient that talking to today kind of hints at.
Ooh, a secret ingredient. I'm all ears.
It's you,
You, like my personality.
your genuine self.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
that's actually pretty profound. I mean, it's so easy to get caught up in trying to say the right things.
Right, but ultimately, what really connects us as humans is authenticity.
So it's not about trying to be someone you're not or putting on a linguistic show. It's about showing up as your best self.
Exactly, quirks and all.
Think about the people you enjoy spending time with.
Mhm.
Chances are, it's not because they speak perfect English.
It's because they make you feel comfortable, they listen, they make you laugh, and they share their true selves with you.
That's so true. So basically, what we're saying is be yourself, relax, and have fun.
Exactly. And trust me, your genuine interest and enthusiasm will shine through way more than any perfectly memorized phrase ever could.
Wow. This has been such an eye-opening deep dive. We started with practical tips, but it all comes back to this simple yet powerful idea. Be authentic, be present, and have fun.
And remember, a date is a two-way street. Be a good listener, ask thoughtful questions, and share your own thoughts and experiences. Don't be afraid to let your personality shine through.
That's such great advice. And hey, even if the date doesn't lead to a second one, you'll have gained valuable practice speaking English in a real-life setting.
Exactly. Every conversation is a learning opportunity. So go out there, embrace the experience, and let your English sparkle.
This has been another insightful deep dive. We hope you feel more confident and prepared for your next date. Remember, fluency is about connection, and the best way to connect is by being yourself. Until next time, happy dating.